So, like, can you share your experience in participating in the case competition and Fujitsu one, and like what motivated you to take part in that?
Like I said, your research, your data needs to be very in line so that whenever you are putting it on papers, you can put it in two lines. If the research and the data is not something satisfactory and you said, okay, time crunch, I have only 4 hours are there, let me put something out there.
Hmm.
If you put something out there, now they'll be able to find a loophole.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another episode of Skilled Sapien Podcast. I am your host Himanshi Singh, and today we have on board Mr. Aadri Vishal, who was a placement coordinator head at Symbiosis, and has also won a lot of case competitions out there. Be it industry recognition from Fujitsu as 100 Best Future Manager, national runner-up at Portfolio 8.0 PR case study, reached round fifth in the last manager standing at my canvas and at Micah. So yeah, Adri, welcome on board. It's been an honor hosting you out here.
Thank you so much, Manshi. It's been an honor that I can talk to you, speak to you about, my MBA journey at large, and I'm very excited about it.
Okay, so Adri, first of all, we'll be wanting to know your how you made it to Symbiosis and what was your journey over there, like
Uh,
precisely.
So definitely, I'll try to shorten up because I have this habit of talking a bit longer. But then,
Same here.
yeah. So Symbiosis was a very conscious decision because when I was preparing after 3 years of my work ex, I was preparing for like MBA, and I was sure that marketing is something that's my calling. I really enjoy doing that. But what in marketing? Because then there is a big whole spectrum when you start researching about colleges and
Yeah,
what are the things, right? So I think SIMC came in front of my all the colleges that I was looking at, and media and content was something that I was very comfortable with. I didn't know that I'll be able to survive in this industry, but it was very comfortable for me to talk about it and listen to it in terms of other sort of things that I was looking at that point in time. So Symbiosis came out very organically in terms of I want to explore it because 3 years I've already done project management and business development. That was on the side of management, and I was like okay in terms of exploring others because I had a lot of years in terms of taking risk to my career, and I was like, why
yeah,
not study it and go ahead with it. So I think SIMC in that way, the Symbiosis campus, the curriculums helped me to understand this new industry, and I was fortunate enough that I had all those intellect in terms of understanding what a brand speaks about, how the
yeah.
content works around it, the communication works around it. And finally, I think over the semester, I could see how academically I was okay in terms of understanding it. And then all these case competitions came in. I tried to expose myself to a lot more bigger audiences, a lot more bigger opportunities, and the cases that are provided by the brands. And also the placement journey helped me to understand what kind of companies are coming for getting placed at Symbiosis and what are their requirements. So the culmination of all these things helped me to be aware about this industry and also make right efforts in the right place so that I can make myself relevant to this industry more, because 2 years back I was not a person who was coming from this industry. So in the 2 years I just tried to make myself relevant for the media and comms industry so that once I step in, I don't be an alien to what I'm doing here
Yeah.
after doing. That's whole
Exactly, because
bit of it.
I believe experience in every matter is very, very important for you to like build your career. And it's not just your work experience, it's also the little things like competitions, and which people they take it for granted. I believe when they're in their graduation, post graduation, they feel like, okay, we'll score good marks, we'll sit in the placement and we'll score it. It doesn't
Yeah,
happen like that, folks. To all the people out there who are not yet in the MBA college or who are there in the MBA college, buckle up. And it's high time for you to like realize that case competitions play a great role in your placement, in your internships, in your life projects, and everything and whatnot. Like I have seen people making it to the final placement through their case competitions. So that has
definitely.
also
You're
happened.
absolutely
Yeah. So, like, can you share your experience in participating in the case competition and Fujitsu one, and like what motivated you to take part in that?
Himanshi, like I've told you that I had these 2 years with me to make myself more relevant to the media and comm industry, and I thought that case competition is one way to look at it because
Yeah.
in my undergraduation also I had participated in case competitions, and I at that point in time my undergraduation was very different. But then
Yeah.
again, I did participated in some of the competitions. I went to IIT Roorkee, I went to IIT Kharagpur to present and have this paper and poster presentations. So I had that intellect in terms of participating in there. But right now my course and my curriculum was a little different, but it was more about brands and more of creative and brand strategy and everything. And I thought that if I start participating in that, I might try to learn more whatever it's there studying in the classes and other things. Because I remember a lot of times our teachers also try to discuss the relevant campaigns that are going on in the market. And I
Hmm.
see, because sometimes when you search the websites and other things, these case competition do advertise there as well. So for example, I'm reading a particular case, and I see that there is another case competition that's going on which is going to get live. So then why not study and also participate in the same thing, because I can
Absolutely.
try to
Absolutely.
apply
Yeah.
apply my skills over there. So it started
Hmm.
with HUL. HUL was one of the first case competition that I've participated in. It was a very very interesting case. We get to know that what brands at that point in time are kind of struggling, and within 1 year or 2 years you're going to be in that market. So that kind of fascinated me, that okay, if this is the problem that's going the brand is facing right now, within 2 years I might be one of those people who are going to challenge it or might have to
Yeah.
fix this thing.
Hmm.
So that kind of motivated me. With that, I didn't end up in the rounds for HUL, because again, it's a very open kind of a competition, and a lot of people come with a lot of experience participate in that. But it gave me an edge because I've discussed the cases with my faculties, and they put a lot of confidence in me that this is something that we can work out. And I was just entering into the MBA wala thing. After that, I think it gave me a more structured approach as to how you kind of read the brief of the case study and what is actually required, because I was going haywire in my first two case competitions. The Proelio thing that my team came, like, we are the first runner-ups for that.
Hmm.
I think in that structure we kind of went through the briefs like 100 times, and then we kind of went to as to what we need to communicate, because there are a lot of efforts that goes behind making the solutions. And
Hmm.
that's where I know that was the first thing that I cracked in terms of making the competition. Fujitsu 100 was something that I was not planning to apply, but then again, because of some commitments from the Symbiosis and my placement team, I had to apply. And then after like 4 rounds, because there were 4 rounds and a lot of strategic thinking, design thinking, which I had already done in my 3 years of work because that was a little bit of project management. I was
Hmm.
able to understand that why a corporate like Fujitsu wants to make relevant their business in India. And that's where I kind of learned that how they want individual managers. And that's where I cleared all the 4 rounds. I had an interview towards the end. It was my first interview. I remember 8 a.m. in the morning, of because
Okay.
they were interviewing all the 100 people on that day, and they wanted to announce the results. So 8 a.m. in the morning I was there, and they asked me a lot of managerial questions, which were not
Yeah.
something that I studied in my MBA, which is obviously the comms management. All these things which they have asked me are all my life experiences, which I have kind of gained from the case competitions, because a lot of solutions, something that I've made on myself. My undergraduation, my 3 years of work ex, because I have worked with teams, I have led teams before, and
Yeah.
also some things that you kind of understand while you're working in a particular college, as to how you particularly channelize a particular resource who is a liability to the team, but now you want to make him an asset. And that's where you kind of channelize your answer, that this is the thing that I will do as a manager, and not the things because that person is a liability and I don't want him to consider as an asset. So these are the things that came from my life experiences, and I gave the same in my interview. So that's how the Fujitsu thing happened. So what I've learned over the time is that every case competition will give you something in positive, and that
Hmm.
positive you need to implement in the other one.
Yeah.
So Fujitsu happened only because I failed at HUL. That was the only thing that I could get out of it. And the reason why I won Proelio is because I need to won another one. So Proelio happened, and then Fujitsu happened, and then the Mica thing happened. It was very interesting because all these case competitions are very different from each other. And the reason why it is very relevant for MBA people, because all these case competitions are real time. These are created by the brand managers, these are created by the creative supervisors who are currently working in those companies. So it's
So
not like that. Yeah, so it's not like that you are doing it just one year back case studies, right? It's very important you have it and kind of solve it then and there itself.
yeah. So one thing which I have analyzed through your conversation, like your prior experiences in the case studies, is the case competition is like you have taken that approach in your case competitions, like positive approach, that if you have failed in one, then you have taken the learnings from that one competition, then you have transferred the same learnings. The learning continues. So that
Yes,
is what I would like to tell to all the folks out there. You should not like sit back and just analyze, okay, what went wrong. Just figure it out, and as soon as possible, and take that learning forward in your next case competition, because you never know that what's going to help you in the coming phases of yours. So yeah, so like how did you approach solving the case study, and what were your strategizing strategies and methodologies that you used in all the case competitions, and which made you stand here?
so, like I said, every case competition has a different way to approach it.
Hmm.
So, the first very important thing is to decode the brief. What
Yeah.
exactly the brief is you're talking about? Because there are instances where a brief is there, and the first approach which all of them will apply is that strategy may there's a problem at the strategy. No, there might
Hmm.
not be a problem at the strategy. There might be problem at the distribution of that particular thing. So first you need to decode it. Second thing is that what if that one particular case is there, try finding relevant examples of the real brands which are there out there. So for example, if you found a case study of, for example, Xiaomi, right? They have given you a particular case study, and they said that they are launching a new brand and they want to make it relevant for the market. Look at the brands which are coming in India. They have launched the first brand and see what are the campaigns that they have done. What is the insight that they have picked out? Because that's where you kind of learn that, okay, who is at what time the brands are trying to make it relevant themselves into the Indian market or any other market. Because the case only becomes relevant when you are trying to make the relevant insights from the consumers what they actually want. And your research, the data that you kind of get it from other resources is very important. So try reading about the campaigns, try reading about the distributions. That for example, if I give an example like Balaji doesn't Balaji Wafers doesn't do a lot more marketing. They predominantly do a lot of optimization on the distribution side. But
Yeah.
as a manager, as a marketer, you need to understand that on what P are they exactly focusing their business on. And that's where you kind of lead if you are handling one particular case study that is actually about distribution optimization, right?
Hmm.
So it's very important to decode it and then find relevant examples and then look at the current scenario. Okay, if this product is launched in 2024, right? For whom it is getting launched? Is it 18 to 24? Is it 24 to 35? What is the age
Hmm.
group? And then start looking for that, looking for the habits of that age group as to how these things are going to get relevant for this particular audience. Because 18 to 24, 10 years back, and now these two are two different age groups that we are talking about. So this is how a structured way you can do it. And from all these stages that I've told you, the learnings are going to come. Because for example, if you have not decoded the brief, after the result you know that, okay, I was not able to decode the brief. The next time that you go to a case study, you'll first decode the brief correctly and then you follow the whole things. What if you are not able to understand the TG properly in this case? Then you'll understand, okay, I was not able to understand it, and the TG, I was very superficial in terms of understanding their habits. The next time that you go to a particular case study, you'll start optimizing that stage. So stage wise, if you can break these case studies, then I think it will be helpful to be able to conglomerate your thoughts. And also I would suggest that a lot of please try to make your LinkedIn network very strong.
Yeah.
Because a lot of MBA people, a lot of people who are very enthusiastic about their case study journeys, they put out their solutions on LinkedIn. They are very helpful. There are people who are doing a lot of these jobs, and they share their learnings on the LinkedIn. They put the whole solution out there. Even if you read that solution now, you'll understand that what is that has made this person win this case competition. Is it the presentation? Is it the thought? Is it the solution? Or is it the
Is it the
way that they
pitch?
have presented,
Yeah.
right, the
Is it the
pitch?
pitch?
Because there are a lot of factors that you'll not be able to understand by just preparing for one case competition. You have
Hmm.
to go through each and every time. So it's better that rather experiencing yourself It's better that you borrow some things
Watch.
from the other experiences,
Yeah, because
right?
even I believe, yeah, because even I believe the time span to build your career is even shorter than what you have imagined. Because
Yes.
it's truly about the how you well you're utilizing your current time. You might be thinking, okay, I'll do this, and the time has already passed. So
Yeah.
you need to learn from others' mistake. You have a lot of experience out there rather than doing it yourself. So yeah, do learn from what others are doing, do learn from their mistakes, do learn from their pitches. So how was, like, we know that your basic concept I understood from your conversation was you had a clear plan of action of what you need to do. Your strategies were clear, your research was very clear, your plan of action was ekdam aligned. And so what would be your like, how did you presented your pitch in the several case competitions, and what are your tips to present the pitch in a manner that it is idea is clearly visible?
So, see, apart from the presentations, we have done a lot of assignments in our presentation, and all those were academically linked. So
Exactly,
we
yeah.
know what to present at that point in time. From all the presentations, from all the assignments that I have done, and all the case studies, one thing is very clear, that you have to be very minimalistic in what you're communicating. If the idea is clear to you, see, the more the words, the more jumbled your thought was. That will show on paper, right? If I don't know what I need to speak, I will present 10 lines. If I know
Hmm.
what I really need to speak, I'll present it in two lines, and the person who is looking at it, whosoever is the judge, will be able to understand it, because understand that you need to communicate to a fourth class kid.
Yeah.
These people are brand managers and everything, but if you're not able to make your idea sell to a 4-year old kid, your idea is not sellable. That's
Hmm.
very clear. So you need to drop down that thing to a level where a 4-year old kid can understand. Hence the brand managers, the people who are at the top management, will be able to understand. That's why, like I said, your research, your data needs to be very in line, so that whenever you are putting it on papers, you can put it in 2 lines. If the research and the data is not something satisfactory, and you said, okay, time crunch, have only 4 hours are there, let me put something out there.
Hmm.
If you put something out there, now they'll be able to find a loophole. But even if you are able to put 2 lines, and even if they find loopholes, you'll be able to back it with data. That's the clarity that you need to understand, that if you are preparing, or if you're presenting something, if you're able to kind of summarize it in 2 lines. Because whenever we used to present, like whenever we used to make presentation, people think that making presentations is a very normal and a convenient, I mean, that's something that should come last. No, the way you present it is the make or break thing, because your idea might get jumbled, but if you're not clear with what you're presenting, for example, on the whole sheet of that your presentation, you have put down the brief, but your solution is towards the end. Nobody is
Yeah.
going to read that. Nobody is
True.
going to visualize it. Use a lot of visuals, less amount of words, and something that you need to highlight, please highlight that. For example, if you are saying that my product is going to be convenient for the consumers, put that convenient into boards, because they need to understand what is the pain point that you are kind of trying to give it to the consumers. And use a lot of visuals, because visuals in itself, the statics are in itself, is a very important tool of communication. Being a communication management student, I know what works for them and what doesn't work for them. So statics works for them, videos works for them, text works for them, but limited text works for them, and a very layman language works for them. So whenever you are putting down something, it's very important that you help them to visualize it, not write it. Almost don't write almost everything. It's not going to help you in any way. It's going to increase your time, because the more you explain it, the more you dilute your whole idea. It's not going to help you in any way. So concise it, make it a two-liner, and help them visualize through tables, or through data, or through pie charts, or other references if you have any.
Okay. So, like, looking back, what lessons did you learn from your experiences that apply to your future endeavors? Like, what were the things that you learned through your case competitions, through your profile as a placement committee head, and your overall experience in the placement committee made you realize about your future endeavors? What were the things?
Um, so there are a few things that I know that will always work for me, is that the people that I work with, you cannot work alone. In MBA, in marketing, you cannot work alone. Your peers have to have that vibe with you. They have to have that common goal with you. Even while I was working on my assignments, I know that if my team is with me in terms of the idea that we are presenting, I know we are going to have a very good presentations towards the end of the day. Because I remember at one point in time, after I think first semester, second semester, we stopped presenting, rehearsing the presentations. We don't rehearse the presentations because on every slide, whatever is there, we know by heart. And that's what you
Hmm.
need to understand, that the whole team will
Understand.
also be like, I know that it's not rehearsed, it's not scripted, that I'll only speak slide number 2 and you will speak
Yeah.
slide number 20. It's never going to be that, because once we understand the whole idea, the team work in such a momentum that you need to have that idea within that team. So while working on an academic level, I think that was very important for my peers to understand it. And second thing, if the placement thing has to be there, then my team which is working with me day and night, there are no number of hours that are fixed for the placement team to work. They know that what the vision that me and my co-head we were having. We discussed everything prior to discussing it with the team, and then get their inputs, because getting their inputs was very important, because we were not just the two of us that were driving that team. We were 13 of us, and then there was a junior team as well, so 27 of us were driving the internships and the placement season for both the batches. So it was very important to understand each other's perspective, but also to make sure that everyone is going to come to you. So you need to have a clear thought of mind that what we are need to do, right?
Yeah. So, like, can you explain your learnings in like you have made it when you are we are right now talking to the future Aadri Vishal, who's now looking back to the Aadri Vishal in back in the years when he was doing his post graduation. So, what do you think that the things which you learned back then, which helped you in your learnings in corporate career related to your placement committee, like you were a part of placement committee, and what are the workings of placement committee that helps an individual to work in a better way, in a better manner in their corporate career?
So first of all, I think the learnings from the placement cell that will definitely going to help each and everyone who is a part of the placement cell to their corporates is that you know how much to talk, right? You know how to sell yourself. That's the biggest thing that as a placement team you can do, because we have been doing that for like 2 years. We have been kind of pitching the kind of batch that we have. We also analyze the batch, because the previous year's batch and this year's batch, they have different kind of portfolios, they have different kind of CVs. So in order to analyze that and kind of pitch it to the right people, and the kind of recruiters we get, so at SIMC we get brands, we get corporates, we get agencies, and all of them have different requirements. So the placement member, you need to understand the requirements. So while you are at the corporate, you need to understand, okay, my managers want this, my super managers want this, and this is what my team wants. So there are multiple stakeholders which are involved, and if you're not able to analyze what they want, you'll fall flat. And that's what placement kind of make you accustomed with. Okay, there are four different stakeholders: there is faculty, there is management, there is batch, and there is recruiter. If you're not able to understand each and every other stakeholder, because you're going to do an activity, you're going to call a recruiter, and you want them to hire from SIMC, you need all the stakeholders to be on the same page. The same thing goes into a corporate. You want all of them to be on the same page, because as a marketing person, as a person who is in content, a lot of things depends on the decision that you are going to take, right? That is one thing. Another thing is that individually you understand from your mistakes that you have done in the past. It's okay to, I really want to make this thing very open, that it's okay to do mistakes, because if you're not open of accepting that you have done this mistake, you're not able to grow in that. So don't make yourself in there that I will do mistake and something bad will happen to you. It will only grow more into you as an individual. So make mistakes, and just try not to repeat those mistakes. Nobody is
Yeah.
stopping you from making mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Just don't repeat it. Start learning from it, because as an individual you kind of grow. And like
Yeah.
we were discussing, it's important to also discuss it with the team, because all the things you cannot experience yourself, you have to have the team that's with you. So I think all these things in terms of managing people, understanding each other's roles and requirements, this is something that a placement team member will always carry with themselves. And also I would say that once you work in a team, you understand the team dynamics as well. You can work with any number of people, then be it 12 or be it 200. It's very important that you start working in a team, be it any small team. That's totally
Yeah.
fine. But as an individual, your contribution will only limit it to you.
Yeah.
But when you start working in a team, the team dynamics start falling into places, and there are a number of factors that come into play,
Yeah.
right? So placement teams tells you how to work in a team. That's that too in a more efficient way.
Yeah. So, like, through your learnings, can you let us know the person who is like, like the people to the folks who are like trying to get into their placement committees, and the season is coming because the
Yeah,
admissions have already started. The people are gonna get in, the new batch is gonna start, and the people are gonna make it to the placement committees in the coming
yeah,
few months. So, in a coming
yeah,
month as well. So, like, what
yeah.
is your advice to the people who are going to like appear for the placement committee elections, and what are the
Yeah.
things that they should keep in mind, that these are the things that I need to pitch to my people, to the seniors who are interviewing me, because obviously the seniors interview the juniors, that is how it works.
Yeah,
And there's all sort of questions there to hit the right spot and everything. So what is your opinion to them, what is your suggestion that they should follow, they should do in order to get selected as a placement committee?
So when I wanted to apply for that, and I did and got the results, I came to know very end that why I got selected. The reason why I got selected, and I have communicated this to my junior team and to the Cummings people as well, that your intent has to be very clear. There cannot be a person who doesn't know that why I want to be in the placement team. Your intention has to be very, very clear, that
Yeah.
at the end of the day, your intent matters. Tell me on my face that I am being very selfish, I want to be in the placement. Just tell me that, tell me your intent, so that I know what kind of contribution you can make. If your intent is not clear to you, then I am not, then as a senior member, I'll not be able to help you. So your intention has to be very clear. Second thing, you need to be responsible. If you are not
Hmm.
responsible for even for one person, because then you have a responsibility of placing around a batch of 120 200 people.
Yeah.
What you have to be accountable for certain things. Things will go bad. I can give you this in return. Things will go bad. The attitude of being responsible, that okay, this has gone bad, this is on me, don't try to run away from it. If you
Hmm.
have this idea of being responsible, please apply to the placement cell. If you have this attitude of showing your right intentions to the team, to the faculty, or to every other people, that this is why I want to do this, this is why I want to be in this team, please apply for it. And second thing, if you really want your placement, if you really want your MBA journey to be a little more productive, please apply to the placement cell. Obviously you will be overworked, but by the end of the day you'll be able to sleep a very calm sleep, because the whole day you was very productive. You did things out of your way to help your batch. You did things those were you don't know that you need it right now, but in the at the hindsight, while you are at the corporate, like we were discussing, these things will come to you organically. The pressure won't feel much,
Yeah.
right? The understanding will come organically to you. So invest in yourself today, in these 2 years of placement cell, and the results will be like 20 years down the line. You'll not be able to thank enough for this journey which is there for you. So invest in yourself, and then you'll see the results.
Yeah, so basically, I believe in that personal thought which you promoted right now, that as soon as you get the accountability of the work around you, the people around you, the earlier you will be able to realize that how fruitful it is for you, for your career, for your personal as well as professional growth. It is very
Yeah,
important for all the folks out there to take experiences as soon as possible, because time is flying and you won't realize that 2 years have passed and you have already had a postgraduate degree in your hand, because post graduation flies like this. So yeah, so keep concentrating on the fact that you are learning new thing with each passing day. And thank you so much, Adri, for all your learnings. It was really insightful session, and I have personally learned a lot of things, so I believe the folks out there have also learned a lot of things, though my post
I,
graduation days are almost about to end. But yeah, still there are a lot of things that I might learn, I might perform as per your learnings. So thank you so much. And to all the folks out there, do like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Skilled Sapiens. And stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. Thank you, guys.
thank you much, thank you so much.